There is a law that governs your success as surely as the law of gravity governs the fall of an apple from a tree. It is the law of mind set, the law that says, what you continually think, you eventually become. Every achievement, every fortune, every great transformation began first in the unseen realm, in the mind of the one who dared to think it possible. Before the skyscraper touched the clouds, it existed as a vision on the drawing board. Before the great invention changed the world, it was a spark of imagination in someone's mind. Before any life was lifted from struggle to abundance, it was first decided in thought. The truth is simple. You will never rise higher than the image you hold of yourself. If you believe you are destined for mediocrity, mediocrity will cling to you like a shadow. But if you believe you are worthy of greatness and act accordingly, the world will eventually bend to that belief. Before you can conquer challenges in the outer world, you must first conquer yourself. You must master your moods, your fears, your doubts, and the endless stream of small excuses the mind creates to keep you where you are. The battles you fight inside are invisible, but they decide every visible result in your life. The undisciplined mind will sabotage your dreams before the first step is taken. The disciplined mind will carry you over mountains others said were impossible. You will never get what you truly deserve by wishing vaguely for a better life. The world responds to clear demands, not weak hopes. Decide what you want clearly, specifically, and without hesitation. Write it down. See it in your mind every morning and every night. Speak of it as though it already exists. The moment your desire becomes definite, your actions begin to align with it. Your mind begins to filter out distractions and focus on the path ahead. You stop chasing what is easy and start building what is worthy. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, whether seeds of success or weeds of failure, will grow. If you continually dwell on obstacles, you will find more of them. If you focus on opportunities, they will multiply before your eyes. Guard your thoughts as a king guards his treasure. Do not allow gossip, doubt, or fear to take root. Feed your mind with visions of the life you want, and water those visions daily with action. Most people give up not because the goal was impossible, but because they allowed temporary defeat to convince them it was permanent. Remember this truth. Every great achievement stood on the bones of many failed attempts. The difference between the one who gets what they deserve and the one who doesn't is persistence. When the road becomes dark, walk anyway. When the doors slam shut, knock again. When the world tells you no, let it fuel you to find your yes. Your environment shapes you in ways you cannot escape. If you spend your time with those who complain, your life will become a reflection of complaint. If you surround yourself with those who think big, act boldly, and refuse to quit, their courage will infect you. Choose your circle with the same care you would choose your most valuable possession. One great mind in your company can save you years of wasted effort. Faith is not merely hope. Hope says, I wish it will happen. Faith says, it will happen because I will make it so. Faith gives you strength when the evidence is against you. Faith makes you act as though your success is inevitable, and in doing so, it becomes so. The universe does not deliver rewards before the work is done. It demands full payment up front in effort, in sacrifice, in discipline, in the willingness to keep going when every nerve in your body screams for rest. Do not ask, when will my success come? Instead ask, have I paid the price in full? You do not get what you wish for. You get what you believe in deeply, desire clearly, and work for relentlessly. If you master your mindset, if you guard your thoughts, if you hold fast to your vision with unshakable persistence, there is no force in the world that can deny you what you truly deserve. So decide here and now that you will master your mind, because once you do, the world will have no choice but to hand you the life you have demanded of it. The boundaries of your life are not drawn by your circumstances, your upbringing, or even the obstacles you face today. They are drawn silently, invisibly by your own mind. Your mindset is the architect of your destiny. It decides how high you will rise, how far you will go, and how much you will ultimately claim from life. Most people think the limits of their achievement are set by outside forces, by the economy, by where they were born, by the connections they do or do not have. But the truth is far more powerful and far more uncomfortable. Your results will never rise higher than the image you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as average, the world will treat you as average. You will hesitate when opportunity knocks. You will doubt yourself when decisions must be made. You will talk yourself out of the very actions that could change your life. You will unconsciously align your habits, your speech, and your entire daily conduct to match the identity you have accepted for yourself. But if you see yourself as capable, worthy, and destined for greatness, even before the evidence is visible, your actions will take on a different energy. You will make decisions with courage. You will seize chances others ignore. You will work longer, endure more, and rise again after setbacks because you have decided that the life you seek is already yours in principle. You may say, but I cannot help how I see myself. My past has shaped me this way. I tell you, the past is only the raw material from which your future can be built. Your past is not a prison unless you lock the door from the inside. Understand this: the mind accepts as truth whatever it is fed consistently. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are limited, the mind will obediently create limitations. If you feed it with the vision of a stronger, wiser, more capable you, it will begin to act upon that vision and draw it into reality. Every empire, every invention, every fortune began not with money, not with luck, but with an idea in the mind of a single individual who believed they could achieve more than their current reality suggested. Their mindset set the ceiling, and when they lifted that ceiling in thought, their life rose to match it. The tragedy is that most people never test the limits of their own mind. They live inside invisible walls they have accepted without question. They measure their future by the size of their present conditions, forgetting that the present is only the residue of yesterday's thinking. Think of it this way: if you were to place a young tree inside a small container, it would grow only to the limits of that container. Its roots would twist and press against the sides, unable to go further. But if you plant that same tree in the open ground, it can grow without restriction, stretching its branches as far as nature will allow. Your mind is that tree. If you keep it confined with small beliefs, it will grow only to the limits you have set. To expand your life, you must first expand your thinking. This means deliberately choosing thoughts that lift you rather than diminish you. It means speaking to yourself as one who is worthy of success, not as one begging for permission to succeed. It means surrounding yourself with people, books, and environments that remind you of possibility, not limitation. Your mind is a workshop, and the tools inside it are your beliefs. You can use those tools to build bridges to your goals or walls that keep you from them. The choice is always yours. Here is the unshakable truth: life will rarely hand you more than you expect, but it will often give you exactly what you are prepared to claim, and preparation begins in thought. A millionaire mindset can take root in a poor man's head, and if he holds fast to it, works for it, and refuses to betray it with doubt, that mindset will eventually remake his circumstances. When you master your mindset, you gain freedom from the illusions of limitation. You no longer ask, "Can I?" but instead, "How will I?" You stop waiting for the perfect moment and begin creating it. And as you take action, you prove to yourself again and again that the limits you once believed in were nothing more than shadows on the wall. Remember this: your mind is the only thing in the universe over which you have absolute control. You cannot control the weather, the markets, or the opinions of others, but you can control your thoughts, and by controlling your thoughts, you control your actions, and by controlling your actions, you control the results that shape your destiny. So, set no small limits upon your mind, see yourself as more than you are today, hold in your heart and mind the picture of the life you desire most and refuse to let that picture fade. Because the world will never reward you for thinking small, but it will always rise to meet the man or woman who dares to think beyond every imagined boundary. Your mindset is the gatekeeper of your future. Open that gate wide. No man ever drifted his way to greatness. No woman ever stumbled into the life of her dreams without first deciding, with the precision of a master builder, exactly what that life would look like. The truth that few will accept is this: vague wishes produce vague results. The mind is a magnificent instrument, capable of bending reality to its will, but it cannot do so without clear instructions. You would not set out on a journey without knowing your destination, yet most people do exactly that in life. They rise each day without a definite aim, hoping that fortune will simply deliver something better to their door. And so they wander year after year, caught between longing and inaction. Clarity of desire is the starting point of all achievement. Until you know exactly what you want, the world cannot help you get it, because you cannot even help yourself. A mind without a definite target will spend its energy chasing distractions, jumping from one opportunity to another, never committing fully to anything, and therefore never mastering anything. When you define your desire with precision, something extraordinary happens. Your mind begins to reorganize itself. You start to notice opportunities that were invisible to you before. You begin to make decisions in alignment with your aim. You learn what to say yes to and, more importantly, what to refuse. This is not magic, it is simply the natural power of focus. When a magnifying glass directs the sun's rays to one spot, it can ignite a fire. But if those same rays are scattered in all directions, they warm nothing. Your desire works in the same way. Do not make the mistake of thinking desire means a passing interest. A true desire is something you are willing to hold in your mind morning and night. It is something you are willing to work for when others sleep, to protect when others mock, to endure hardship for without hesitation. If you are not willing to sacrifice for it, then it is not a true desire, it is only a passing fancy. Decide exactly what you want down to the last detail. If it is wealth, determine the exact amount. If it is a career, describe precisely the role, the environment, the achievements you will reach. If it is a way of life, picture the home you will live in, the people who will surround you, the kind of days you will enjoy. Be specific, because the mind works best with clear images, not blurred outlines. Once you have decided, commit it to writing. There is power in putting words on paper. It transforms a dream into a tangible command. Place that written statement where you will see it every day. Read it aloud in the morning to set the tone for your actions. Read it again at night to seal it into your subconscious mind before sleep. This may seem like a small thing, but it is the small disciplines, practiced daily, that shape the course of your life. Your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant, whether weeds or flowers. By feeding it daily with the image of your definite desire, you are planting seeds that will grow into reality. But remember, clarity of desire is not merely for your benefit. When you are clear about what you want, you also send out a signal to others. You will find that people are far more willing to help a person with a definite aim than someone who is unsure. The merchant, the partner, the mentor all prefer to work with those who know exactly what they are after, for such people inspire confidence. There is another reason clarity is essential. It keeps you from being seduced by every glittering distraction. Opportunities will come that look promising but lead you away from your true goal. Without a definite desire, you will chase them all, wasting time and energy, but with clarity, you can measure every decision against your aim and discard whatever does not serve it. You must also accept this truth. A clear desire will require a clear price. You cannot expect to achieve it without paying in effort, discipline, and persistence. But the beauty of clarity is that it makes the price worth paying. When you can see the goal vividly in your mind, the work ceases to feel like punishment. It becomes part of the privilege of pursuit. The man who says, "I want to be successful," has no power because the word successful means nothing until it is defined. The woman who says, "I will earn $100,000 a year within the next 2 years, by building this specific business, serving this specific group of people," has already taken the first step toward making it real. The difference between the drifter and the achiever is not talent, luck, or education. It is clarity. The drifter waits for something to happen. The achiever decides what will happen and then makes it so. Do not let another day pass in uncertainty. Take the time to decide in detail the life you want to live. Write it, speak it, see it, and hold to it with the grip of one who will not be denied. The moment you do, you will find that life begins to shift in your favor not by chance, but because you have given your mind and your actions a precise order to fulfill. Everything you see in the world today, every building, every bridge, every invention, every work of art began as a thought in the mind of someone who refused to let that thought fade. The airplane was once a dream in the mind of a man who was told it could never fly. The light bulb was once a vision in the mind of a man who failed hundreds of times before success appeared. Thought is the seed from which all reality grows. This is not poetry, it is law. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. What you continually think about, you eventually bring about. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and limitation, your actions will reflect that fear, and your results will confirm it. If your thoughts are saturated with faith, determination, and a vision of abundance, your actions will carry the force of that belief, and your results will rise to meet it. The mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant in it. You can plant weeds, or you can plant flowers, but you cannot expect to plant one and harvest the other. This is where most people make their mistake. They plant the weeds of worry and failure in their minds daily, and then they wonder why their lives are overrun with disappointment. If you allow the wrong thoughts to take root, they will quietly spread into every area of your life. A single negative belief such as "I am not good enough," or "success is not for me," will poison your decisions, weaken your persistence, and blind you to opportunity. But the same law works in your favor when you plant the right thoughts. A belief such as "I am capable," or "I will find a way," will fuel your courage, sharpen your focus, and open your eyes to possibilities others cannot see. You may say, "But I cannot control the thoughts that come into my head." That is true. You cannot prevent every stray thought from arriving, just as you cannot prevent a bird from flying over your head. But you can prevent that bird from building a nest in your hair. You can choose which thoughts you will feed and which you will starve. To shape your reality, you must discipline your mind the way an athlete disciplines his body. This means becoming aware of your thoughts, catching the negative ones in the act, and replacing them with thoughts that serve your highest purpose. If you want to change your life, you must first change the story you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible for you. Consider this: your subconscious mind does not judge, it does not argue, and it does not question. It simply accepts whatever it is told most often, and it works tirelessly to make those instructions come true. If you tell it daily that you are unlucky, it will find ways to confirm that belief. If you tell it daily that you are destined for achievement, it will set to work arranging the circumstances, ideas, and connections needed to fulfill that vision. This is why repetition is so powerful. You cannot expect one positive thought to undo years of negative conditioning. Just as a farmer waters his crops daily, you must water your mind daily with images and affirmations of the life you wish to live. The moment you let your mind drift, the weeds will begin to grow again. Guard your mental environment as fiercely as you would guard a treasure chest of gold. Protect it from the influence of gossip, pessimism, and those who constantly speak of why things cannot be done. The words you hear, the books you read, the company you keep, all are seeds being planted in your mind. Choose wisely, for they will grow without fail. There is no escaping this truth. Your reality is the mirror of your dominant thoughts. You cannot think failure and live success. You cannot think scarcity and live abundance. You cannot think weakness and live strength. If you wish to change the reflection, you must first change the source. This begins with the conscious decision to think only on the things you wish to see in your life. Picture your goal in vivid detail. See yourself already in possession of it. Feel the emotions of that success as though it were here now. By doing this, you are programming your mind to believe in the possibility, and the mind, once convinced, will find a way to make it real. Your thoughts are the blueprint of your destiny. No builder begins construction without a plan, and neither should you attempt to build your life without one. Draw the plan in your mind first, fill it with the finest details, and hold to it with unwavering faith. Then act upon it daily, knowing that every action is powered by the thoughts that created it. The greatest mistake you can make is to underestimate the power of a single thought held with conviction. Empires have risen and fallen because of the thoughts of a few determined minds. Your own life, no matter its current state, can be transformed entirely by changing the thoughts you choose to dwell upon. So take control of the only thing in this world that is fully yours, your mind. Shape your thoughts, and in doing so, you will shape your reality. There comes a moment in the pursuit of every worthy goal when the path grows dark, when the excitement of beginning fades, and the weight of the work feels heavier than you thought you could bear. This is the moment where most people turn back. They convince themselves that the dream was unrealistic, that the timing was wrong, or that perhaps they were never meant for it in the first place. And so they quit, not because the goal was impossible, but because they lacked the one quality that separates the few who win from the many who surrender: persistence. Persistence is the iron will that keeps you moving forward when your mind screams to stop. It is the refusal to take temporary defeat as permanent failure. It is the quiet, stubborn conviction that says, "I will not be denied." You must understand this truth. Every great achievement has been tested by adversity. Every successful person you admire has known moments of exhaustion, doubt, and repeated failure. The difference is that they persisted when others did not. They stayed in the fight when the rest walked away. Defeat is never final unless you accept it as such. Temporary setbacks are nothing more than the universe asking, "How badly do you want this?" Most will answer with silence, by walking away. The persistent will answer with action, by coming back stronger, wiser, and more determined. Persistence does not mean mindlessly repeating the same approach over and over. It means holding unwaveringly to your ultimate aim while being willing to adjust your methods as needed. The mountain climber who cannot scale one face will look for another path, but he never stops climbing. It is important to recognize that persistence is not a gift. It is a discipline. It is built through habit. Every time you keep going when it would be easier to quit, you strengthen it. Every time you push through discomfort, you are training your mind to endure. And the stronger your persistence becomes, the fewer obstacles will have the power to stop you. There is a force in the world that rewards persistence in ways that seem almost mysterious. Doors that were locked begin to open. People you need to meet appear. Opportunities arise that you could not have planned for. These things rarely happen at the beginning of the journey. They show themselves only to those who have proven they will not give up before they arrive. This is why so many fail. They expect instant results. They plant the seed and then grow impatient when it does not bear fruit by the next day. But the persistent know that the seed is working invisibly beneath the soil, putting down roots before it can rise into the light. They understand that every day of consistent effort is a day closer to the harvest. When you feel discouraged, and you will remind yourself that the darkest hour often comes just before the dawn, many people abandon their efforts when they are far closer to victory than they realize. They cannot see that just one more push, one more day of effort, one more refusal to quit would have brought the breakthrough. Persistence also demands that you learn to silence the voices around you that try to talk you out of your dream. There will be those who say, "It can't be done," or "It's not worth it." Do not argue with them. Simply let your results speak when the time comes. The surest way to silence doubt is through undeniable success. To build persistence, commit to your goal as though there is no alternative. Remove the escape routes, the backup plans, the easy ways out. When your only option is to go forward, you will find a strength you did not know you possessed. It is persistence that transforms the impossible into the inevitable. It is persistence that turns ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. It is persistence that takes a vision from the realm of thought into the realm of reality. The world will test you. It will throw delays, failures, and disappointments in your path. It will tempt you with easier roads that lead nowhere, but if you hold your ground, if you refuse to let go of your purpose, the world will eventually yield. Remember, every step forward, no matter how small, keeps the dream alive. Even slow progress is still progress. The pace does not matter, only the refusal to stop does. When the day comes that you stand in possession of the life you imagined, you will look back and see that the struggles were not obstacles, but the very tools that shaped you into the person capable of living that life. And you will know with unshakable certainty that it was persistence, not luck, not talent, not chance that made it possible. So make up your mind now. Whatever it is you desire, commit to it until it is done. Work for it when you feel inspired, and work for it when you feel nothing at all. Keep moving when the road is smooth, and keep moving when it is steep. Persistence is the price the universe demands for every great achievement, and those who pay it in full always collect their reward. No man climbs to the heights of achievement entirely alone. Behind every great success story there are other minds guiding, challenging, inspiring, and sharpening the one who rose. The company you keep is not a casual detail of life. It is one of the most powerful forces shaping your destiny. Your environment molds you, whether you acknowledge it or not. Spend enough time with those who complain, and you will find your own words growing bitter. Surround yourself with those who believe nothing can be done, and soon your own courage will begin to shrink. But place yourself among those who dream greatly, act boldly, and refuse to be defeated, and you will feel your own spirit rising to match theirs. You are, in many ways, the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you measure their ambition, their work ethic, their attitude toward life, you will see a reflection of your own. This is not an accident. It is the inevitable influence of association. Thoughts, like seeds, are contagious. Spend time with those who plant weeds, and weeds will take root in your mind. Spend time with those who plant visions, and visions will grow in you. The most dangerous company is not the openly hostile, but the quietly complacent. These are the ones who will never tell you to quit outright, but who will slowly drain your belief by reminding you of the risks, the difficulties, the reasons why your dream is unrealistic. They do not do this out of malice, but because your determination threatens the comfort of their own inaction. Protect yourself from such influence, for it is more deadly to ambition than outright opposition. Seek out those whose minds are greater than your own. Look for people who are already achieving the things you aspire to. Learn from them. Listen more than you speak. Let their habits, their standards, and their thinking stretch you beyond your current limits. It is not enough to admire them from a distance. You must bring yourself into their presence, into their conversations, into the atmosphere of their belief. This may require courage. It may mean stepping out of the familiar circles you have known for years. It may mean leaving behind friendships that no longer serve your growth. Some will not understand why you are changing your company, and you must be willing to endure their misunderstanding. For the truth is, you cannot rise while clinging to those who are content to remain where they are. When you place yourself among great minds, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. You find yourself raising your own standards. You catch yourself thinking bigger, speaking with more conviction, and taking bolder actions. You begin to expect more from yourself, because the people around you expect more from themselves, and their example becomes a mirror in which you see your own potential more clearly. Do not mistake this for selfishness. True association is not about taking from others, but about mutual growth. You bring your own strengths, your own insights, your own energy into the circle, and in return you receive theirs. The exchange elevates everyone involved. Understand, too, that great minds are not always found in grand offices or behind famous names. Sometimes they are the quiet achievers who have mastered their craft in obscurity. Sometimes they are the wise elders whose years have given them a depth of perspective few possess. Sometimes they are the relentless workers who may never stand on a stage, but whose example of discipline is worth more than 1,000 speeches. Choose such minds deliberately. Build relationships with care, as you would select the materials for a bridge that must bear great weight. Do not let proximity alone determine your companions. Choose them by the strength of their character, the sharpness of their thinking, and the size of their vision. And remember this, you must also become the kind of person others of great mind wish to associate with. Keep your word, work on your own development, bring value to every relationship. Do not come as a beggar seeking inspiration. Come as a contributor seeking mutual progress. There is a quiet truth that few ever realize. Your environment will either pull you upward or drag you downward. Rarely does it leave you exactly where you are. The tide of influence is always moving. The only question is, in which direction? So choose your company as carefully as you would choose the crew of a ship on a long and uncertain voyage. For the storms will come, the nights will grow dark, and in those moments the minds beside you will determine whether you reach the shore or are lost at sea. If you wish to think greatly, act greatly, and live greatly, surround yourself with those who already do. Their belief will feed yours, their courage will awaken yours, and together you will rise to heights you could never have reached alone. There is a fixed law in life that cannot be bent to your convenience. The reward always comes after the work, never before. The world does not pay interest on intentions, and it does not hand over its treasures to those who merely wish. It demands proof. That proof is shown in your faith and your effort, and both must come long before you see the result. Faith is the starting point, for without it, effort soon dies. Faith is not mere hope. Hope whispers, I wish it would happen. Faith declares, it will happen because I will make it so. Hope waits for conditions to improve before it moves. Faith moves regardless of conditions, confident that conditions will bend to its will. When you begin a great endeavor, you will have no guarantees. The path will be unclear, the obstacles will be hidden, and the voices of doubt both within you and around you will be loud. Without faith, those doubts will turn you back before you have gone far. But with faith, you will keep moving even when you cannot see the finish line. Faith is not blind, it is visionary. It sees the end before the beginning has even been completed. It allows you to act with the confidence of one who has already succeeded, even when you are still at the starting line. And this confidence is not for show. It changes how you work, how you speak, and how you face the inevitable setbacks that arise. But faith alone is not enough. It must be married to effort, consistent, disciplined, unrelenting effort. You can believe all you like, But if you do not act, your belief is nothing more than an unplanted seed. The farmer who believes in the harvest must still till the soil, plant the seeds, water the fields, and guard the crops. His belief gives him the strength to work. His work makes his belief come true. Too many people wait for the reward before they put forth the effort. They want the pay before they do the job. They want the applause before they give the performance. Life does not work that way. The payment, whether it comes as wealth, recognition, freedom, or personal satisfaction, is always given after the labor is done, and only to those who have fulfilled their side of the bargain. This is why so few achieve their true potential. They want to see before they believe, when the truth is they must believe before they see. Faith lights the path, effort walks it. Together they lead to the destination. Understand this clearly. When you commit yourself fully to a goal, you must be prepared to pay the price in advance, in full, and without any promise from the world that you will succeed. You must invest your time, your energy, your resources, and your willpower as if success were guaranteed, even though the guarantee exists only in your own mind. There will be days when the effort feels endless and the reward feels far away. On those days, your faith must carry you. There will be days when your faith feels weak and doubts creep in. On those days, the habit of daily effort will carry you. When both are strong, nothing can stop you. When one falters, the other sustains you until your strength returns. The beauty of this law is that it works without fail for anyone who applies it. It does not care about your past, your education, or your resources. It cares only that you believe enough to act, and act enough to prove your belief. Faith without action is daydreaming. Action without faith is wasted energy. But faith combined with action is the force that moves mountains. When the reward finally comes, and it will seem to others as though it appeared suddenly. They will call it luck. They will say you were in the right place at the right time. But you will know the truth, that you were in the right place because you placed yourself there, and that the right time was created by every day of work and every ounce of faith you invested long before the reward appeared. So decide now what you desire. See it so clearly in your mind that you cannot help but believe it is possible. Then give yourself to it completely in effort, holding nothing back, working without resentment, without hesitation, without demanding immediate payment. The reward will come, and when it does, it will not be by accident, but by the inevitable working of the law that faith and effort always precede reward. Now that all 6 key points are expanded, I can combine them into one unified, polished speech, so it flows seamlessly for a full-length motivational video matching your YouTube style. This would turn the points into a complete masterpiece from start to finish.